Hi, I'm Grace Power, and I'm going to be demonstrating some new techniques with the sugaring that I just learned this last weekend. And I'm just going to demonstrate it on my arm. I've already cleaned my arm. It's very important to make sure that you have cleaned the skin, and you want to make sure that it's dry. So if you use a cleanser that has kind of like some water with it, just make sure you dry it off before you start to apply the sugar. I'm actually doing this arm with my left hand because that's the only way to do it. And so this is not my best skill here, but basically how I'm putting this on differently now is a little thinner, and the way you get it on thinner is really just letting it melt on, doing it really slowly, and my fingers are a little bit curled. And then when you go to do your flick, that's kind of the same as normal, but you want to make sure you're not flicking off the skin like that. You want to make sure you're flicking in the direction of the skin. The closer you can be like right in line with the surface that you're sugaring, the better results you're going to get. So I'm constantly reminding myself to slow down, because when you're putting on the sugar, you want to just put it on very slow. The sugar will loosen up the hairs as it sits on there, so there's no need to be in a rush. Here we go with the flick, flick, flick. Alright. So there's no need to be in a rush because, like, let's just say I were to flick this off right now. I would probably have to go over this area again with sugar. So by just taking the time and molding it, making sure it's going on thin, by keeping my fingers bent like that, chances are I'm going to get more of the hair off, or all the hair off, in one go rather than having to go over it multiple times. Arm hair is kind of different. It grows up one way and down the other way. The trick with sugaring is ideally you want to go against the hair and flick with the hair, but it's not really, it's more of a rule of thumb, but it's not really the rule. You can always go sideways on the hair, you can go with the hair. I've even tried putting it on against the hair and pulling it against the hair, and that works too. So sugaring is very flexible as far as what direction you put it on, and that was one of the things that I learned in the class too. And if the hair doesn't seem to be coming off by going in one direction, try another direction. So another trick that I learned is the thinner the hair, or the thinner the sugar goes on, the more hair you're going to pull. So if you've seen some of my other videos, I was putting the sugar on pretty thick. And what I'm doing now, you can see it's very thin. And to do that, I'm curling my fingers. I don't know if you can see that. It's like, I call it the claw, because my fingers are like this. It's going to be a little tricky getting it off on this spot because I don't have another hand to pull the skin tight, so there we go. Alright, so more to come.